How's it going, everyone, and welcome back to another video of Limbus Company. I'm DemoonicWolf, and today we're about to jump into a murder on the warp train. Now, before we get started, I just want to give you all a huge thank you once again for the amazing support that all of you do. But with that, sit back, relax, and I hope you enjoy today's video. Let's get started. All right. How did this happen? First, we boarded the warp train to get to our next destination, P Corp. Got into our fancy first-class flash-freezing hibernation capsules, and we were supposed to arrive at P Corp after a quick blink of an eye, but Dante, please respond. The first thing I saw when my vision returned was the perplexed look on Faust, who had entered hibernation at the same time as I did. Then I realized that we woke up mid-transit on the warp train, which could only mean that we're now stranded in some lost, unknown dimension. Dante, I understand your considerable degree of disorientation, but What the hell happened? First things first. Let's rewind and return to the very start of this highly unfavorable situation we find ourselves in. Few days ago. Our next destination is to a warp train, Dante. What? Yep, that's where it all started. There I was, still perplexed by the incidents at T Corp, with my awful idea of clearing the air by asking Virgilius for our next destination, not knowing the storm that my innocent question would bring. Verily? I must have misheard! I'm quite certain you didn't, Quixote. We are now en route to the T Corp warp train station. That warp train station must have some conundrum that must be resolved there indeed. A quest that must be swiftly addressed at the station, yes? Did a distortion pop up at one of the warp train platforms or something? I see that you are now significantly less disinclined to take on some side jobs, but no. We are boarding the warp train to get to P Corp. End of story. There's nothing between the lines, so don't try reading into it. Yeah, this isn't good. Not good at all! It was only natural that the sinners immediately fell into a state of collective, dumbfounded shock. None of the sinners have any history of working at W Corp, but we're actually taking the train? Through the vague information we can gather from the identities, we all had some fragmentary knowledge about the terrible secrets of the warp train's operations. I initially considered hiding this information from the rest of the sinners, but since sharing things with everyone and letting them get their 2 cents in usually ended up being pretty helpful, I've been sharing more of these as of late. Though I have a very dim, if present at all, recollections from the time during which I wear the identities. It can be determined that the conversational records between the manager and the identities, that the mechanisms behind Warp Train's operations can be deemed as somewhat bizarre and inefficient. Oh yeah, it's that 10-second trip that actually takes a long time, right? And when the train reaches the destination, they just wipe the passengers' memories. I also heard that the passengers get so tired and weary that they start literally ripping and tearing into one another. Sounds like I might finally have a chance to see a masterpiece with my own eyes. Yeah, no. Even when the sinners wear the identities through my identity cards, the identities' memories or beliefs don't bleed into them once it's over and done with. I remember when Faust explained that, due to the risks associated with embracing such influences, there was a filtering process to initially block them from reaching the sinners. That's why the sinners could use the identities of some of our worst enemies without getting infected by their philosophies and whatnot. But it also meant that they couldn't retain any new information that each identity had to offer. That's why I keep a record of some things that sound particularly important and sometimes share it with the rest of the sinners. My voice doesn't really carry well past the window, so most of our communications are one-sided, but I had an abundance of W Corp identities, so it wasn't difficult to piece together the truth behind the trains. But, maybe ignorance really is bliss. Your alarmed response and possible incompliance has already been accounted for. Lady Faust, then thou hast known this all along? Wherefore hast thou not deigned to tell me of this? Faust has indeed known this all along, as no knowledge is out of Faust's reach. As expected, a solution to your dilemma has already been prepared. I seriously doubt your solution involves not getting on the train, so what is it? The bus? Oh, what about this bus? There's no way this thing fits inside a train car. Karen vetoes too. No one to feed Mephi when Karen's gone. Miss Faust. The rearmost tail cars of warp trains are all freight cars. That is where Mephistopheles will be safely fastened and transported. And the LCB will have the benefit of boarding as first-class passengers. The bus begins to swell with noise again, though in a slightly different air to the alarmed response from earlier. First-class passengers. What, the seats of those pompous toffs? Even on normal trains, you've got those sods whose proudest accomplishment in life is planting their arses in first-class seats, while others are cramming themselves in freight cars because they haven't the cash for even the economy ticket. Hey, don't look at me. I've never been in one of those first-class seats before either. How dare you, Heathcliff, look at my boy, Sinclair. He's my boy. He may have been rich, but he's not rich anymore. But you know what he is rich in? Purity. He's rich in fucking purity. He may be changing, but that's my boy. Don't you talk shit about my boy, Heathcliff. I understand you lost Kathy, but you have no right to talk and stare at him just because he was once a rich boy. You still actually might be rich. I'm not sure about that. But don't talk about my boy! Isn't the ticket for a single first-class seat, like, as expensive as a 3-4 month salary for a first-year wing employee? Can our budget really handle getting a ticket for all of us? The company's budget is no subject that warrants your concern. I think we've been over this, Raja. I heard first-class passengers get some cool bonus stuff like personalized private capsules or something, don't they? That is the promotional language, yes. They are flash-freeze hibernation capsules, to be precise. They have been designed to easily withstand the true amount of time it takes for the warp train to travel from point A to point B. The trip will be over in the blink of an eye for the passengers. Unless someone pulls you out and then tears you apart and turns you into puppets. The company's regard for our well-being is unfamiliar yet welcome. To be provided such extravagance merely for our comfort, such occurrence is quite seldom. Right? I honestly thought they were going to slip just the guide and Karen into the first-class seats and ship the rest of us in the economy cars. You don't look too happy. Humph, this seems like an unnecessary luxury. They should have saved their budget and given only the executive manager and their loyal advisor access to those seats. God damn it. Otis, I love you. I love you so much because I simp for the simp! Let's not get ahead of ourselves. We're taking the train to get to our next mission, alright? We have to think about the unique nature of warp trains and prepare ourselves accordingly. Right? I know it's first class and all, but warp trains are just plain creepy. I know you'd also be worried about... For example, economy passengers are going to have a hard time getting into the first class car, if they can even attempt to open it. I mean, I'm pretty sure the door separating the cars is ironclad. Ishmael, who'd been holding that first class promotional pamphlet in her hands for a while, was chattering on with fire in her eyes. Yeah, if there's anyone that actually fucking pays attention and reads the pamphlets, we always can count on Ishmael. Ishmael is always there, reading ahead, and also gets very pissed off at every single one of us that does not read the pamphlet. And makes me think, do we as Dante even read it? I hope we do. We won't even have to lift a finger. We just have to board the train, get into our capsules, shut our eyes, and snooze through the entire ride until all the mess in the other cars blows over. I heard they used to give out commemorative merch back when their finances weren't in the gutter, and... oh. A true adventure is not without its hardships. Yet, even the most exalted of heroes cannot venture without respites. And, in very rare occasions, the hero may even deign to select a first-class seat to rest in place of a quaint inn. Indeed, indeed. Seems like everyone was at least somewhat interested in the fabled first-class seats of warp trains. I could sense that there was a growing consensus among the sinners that even a warp train trip might be acceptable if it meant that they could ride in the first-class seats. I will board the train if I must. Is first-class seating mandatory? I prefer the scenic route. Don't want to miss out on all the fun. God damn it. You crazy bitch. Virgilius pretended to not hear Roshu's question. Very well. Then I assume we are all in agreement. Let's go. I've a matter of great import to discuss with thee. What is it? Out with it, lass. Beating around the bush ain't like you. Don Quixote carefully began, almost whispering in a low voice. That is, in the first-class seats. I have heard tell that we must board with our feet freed from our boots. Doth that claim hold water? Oh, come on now. What kind of nonsense gossip is this coming from this time? 'Tis no gossip, forsooth! I have overheard aught from those we have walked past ere today, and... when one of them inquired, "You know you got to go barefoot in first class, right?" the other responded with, "Of course, man. What am I, stupid?" Doth the traveler speak truth, Ishmael? Don't ask me. I've never been on one of these either. I don't remember seeing anything like that on the pamphlet. Give me a sec. I mustn't be separated from Rosciante, not even for a twinkle. I shan't toss Rosciante to the side next to such vulgarities like the ugly shoes of Sir Heathcliff. Damn! Damn! Way to shit on Heathcliff's shoes, Don Quixote. Oi, you little! I employ thee, O illustrious red gaze. Prithee, grant me thy permission and allow me to board with Rosciante. God damn it. Oh, fucking... I expected Virgilius to answer with his usual exasperated rebuff. Contrary to my expectations, however, he responded in a somewhat serious tone. If tainted by that familiar annoyance, uh-oh. Fine. Keep your shoes on. What? What a roundabout way to tell someone your shoes are shit. That's so fucked up. This place is huge. That was my first impression of the warp train station. Oh, so this is... Don Quixote shouted vibrantly, immediately recovered from her previous apprehension of the sheer possibility that she might be separated from Rocinante. So each nest has one of these massive structures in them? I've got nothing. Oi! Know anything about what they're asking? Heathcliff asked, gesturing toward Merso with his chin. Every warp train station has been built with the general design philosophy that draws from their respective nests' architectural idiosyncrasy. It can also be said that many critics in relevant fields praise the warp train stations as one of the many cultural cornerstones of the city. I have no idea when it happened, but Heathcliff started treating Merso like a walking encyclopedia from time to time. Merso! Young Merso! Lo, is that passenger over yonder one from the west? Incorrect. Leather-based clothing and metal armor are predominant fashion trends, often visible in outfits of the Western population. While that individual's cloth-based style is somewhat ubiquitously observed throughout the population of the North and South, they are largely considered to be an Eastern fashion trend, rarely seen among Western. Prithee, slow thyself, for I must make a record of thy lectures. Here we go. What wisdom dost thou have to impart regarding the fashion of the northern region? I have once espied in a magazine that they are garbed in puffy, loose-fitting outfits, understandably so, given the colder climate of the region. An opportunity for the first-hand observation stands before you. Oh! Ah! 3 seconds of screaming duet, one of utter fascination, the other of unmitigated frustration. What the shit? You nearly blew out my eardrums! You're the one to talk. Dude, I've got an audible frequency range expansion implant in my eardrums! Holy shit, man! Now, get the hell out of my way! You're blocking the walkway like a ragtag band of hicks who's never even seen a warp train before. Damn it, I take the train all the way here for an expedition, only to lose my target, and now these assholes are trying to blow out my eardrums! Great! Just great. I love this. Guys, is it that obvious that we've never been on a warp train before? And the round-trip ticket fee came straight out of my damn pocket! Whoa, watch out, big fella. Someone might get seriously hurt if you keep swinging those forearms around, each holding a weapon, to boot. Prithee, wilt thou stand still for but a moment to satisfy a few inquiries of mine regarding thy outfit? Oh, yes, stand in absolute stillness for 5 minutes and I... Seriously? The fixer, with the particularly impressive set of prosthetic arms, spent a few minutes venting several of his numerous grievances at us before storming off to a different platform. Indeed, 'tis grand, this city of sundry odd personalities. I'm pretty sure he was thinking the same thing. I guess there really are a lot of people in the city with full body prosthetics. That's when Virgilia slowly walked up to our group, probably not happy. Well then, we'll rendezvous at the destination. Huh? Wilt the illustrious Red Gaze not ride alongside us? W Corp policy demands that fixers bestowed with a color title must board a train specially prepared for them instead. Oh, as per usual and the understanding that I've always understood, colors are special. And every fucking wing understands that. They are special individuals because they've reached such a high rank. So even W Corp gives them special treatment. That's pretty good, but probably bad for us. Oh, are you like riding the first class plus or something? That's a colored fixer for you, I guess. Special treatment from the wings no matter where he goes. Karen wants to go back to Mephi. Mephi'll be lonely. I've told you before, Karen. 3 separate times, actually. Each time I bought you one of those candies, that people aren't allowed aboard the freight cars. Then, Miss Faust? Yes. Virgilius, after exchanging a knowing look and a nod with Faust, escorted a particularly peeved Karen away. Dante, let us proceed this way. We followed Faust's guidance to the entrance of our train car. Damn. Whoa, hey, our colors are starting to come back. Oh. Hey, these must be the fabled complimentary food and drink of the first class seats. Heck yeah, of course. Quality stuff like these gotta be included with that insane pricing. The general response to this room was a surprise at the rows upon rows of expensive-looking sizable capsules. Flash freeze hibernation, huh? I guess it literally freezes our bodies in a flash. Faust, are these flash freeze hibernation devices safe? Please elaborate on your exact definition of safe. These things are supposed to freeze us solid, right? Can we really come back from something like that? A flash freeze hibernation device will put you in a temporary state of death caused by the rapid cellular cryopreservation process. However, the rapidity of the process prevents damage to your cells during the phase change. Therefore, in most normal cases, this will not cause any issues. Faust is aware that this model has fully resolved cell membrane breaching issues caused by cryogenic density change, or by ice crystal growths of water molecules. I missed about half of what you said, but your point is that it's safe, right? Yes, as far as Faust is aware, even if an issue were to arise during the journey, because everyone will be reverted to their states at the beginning of the train trip upon arrival, there won't be any lasting complications from the said problem. You've got some real talent in dragging out something so simple as, yeah, it's safe, to so many words. Seriously. Indeed, as Faust's talents are not limited to a singular field. Okay, but that still leaves a lot to be worried about. Just as I was wondering, however, I realized that there was something odd about the way she phrased that answer. As far as Faust is aware? Are you saying that it could go wrong? As a general rule, Faust does not err. However, Faust is also not a divine being. That is true. There are certain information in the world that Faust is yet to have access to. Therefore, while Faust may speak the facts, what is said may not always align with the truth. Okay. They don't call first class for nothing, I guess. P-Corp's way up there in the northernmost corner of the city, but this thing will take us there in the blink of an eye, huh? That's one hell of a time saver. Hoo-ha! 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 Prepare thyself, Rocinante! Thus begins the long jaunt. Oh, I've been meaning to ask, Don Quixote. Do ya ever, wash those shoes? Oh, this is gonna be pretty bad, isn't it? Where'd that come from, Raja? No, I mean, like, think back when we were inside that whale. When that whale blew up, we got all kinds of gross, slimy bits on us. They were on our clothes, our shoes, everything. Yeah. And do you remember how much we had to scrub to get all that bloody, fishy, fleshy gunk out of our clothes? This really isn't something I want to revisit, but yeah. Right? And do you also remember how Don Quixote never took her shoes off once during that whole ordeal? Okay, I guess they do look a bit filthy. I ask thee, dear compatriots, hast thou ever witnessed an errant knight who leaves the side of their beloved steed? Can't say I've ever witnessed a knight before, though. Then thou shalt know, starting now. Behold it, hearken to it, and remember it well. Humph. They don't even spare us even a moment of quiet, do they? Whoa, have you been on one of those, Otis? I've been treated to premium VIP seats of similar grandiosity back when. This is nothing to fuss over. Otis, who was sitting there and shaking her legs, suddenly asked Faust a question. Hey, you're confident that no accidents ever occurred on one of these first-class cars, yes? In order to prevent cases of unnecessary anxiety and misgivings among the sinners, the history of accidents that have occurred aboard warp trains will not be shared. Wait, what the hell was that? Oh, I think we're leaving soon.
This is for Warp Train PW612, bound for P Corp. Boarding period is ending soon.
The sinners, who were either leisurely enjoying their complimentary snacks or taking a look around the first-class car, suddenly became a lot busier. Then, let us hurry and enter our capsules before it is too late. Oh no, why isn't this? The other sinners made it to their capsules no problem, but I felt like I was the only one who's fumbling. Is it anxiety, Dante? I think so. She has a little smirk on her face.
Initiating warp in 10 minutes.
Allow me to assist you. Stand as though you are leaning back and... Faust expertly guided me into the capsule, as though she had done something like this before, then pressed the button inside the capsule that closed the hatch. Fucking... God damn it, Dawn! You always gotta be unique, and I love that about you, but she's like, I gotta at least be in style! Do not worry too much. We will meet again in but a moment, Dante. I thought I heard a brief sigh, but the hatch shut tightly before I could ask her anything. Oh.
Initiating warp. Please confirm that your seatbelts are firmly fastened.
The last thing I saw before my capsule began to fill with gas was Faust climbing into her own capsule, opposite of mine. I had no idea then what she really meant by, "We will meet again in but a moment." Oh. That's ominous. Dante, you must wake up. Dante. But one thing I knew for sure was... an inconceivable situation has occurred. That something had seriously gone wrong. That's not good. We're here already? Wow, I guess that wasn't an exaggeration at all. It all really happened in the blink of an eye. As always, Faust was giving me her usual look, which was a complete lack of any emotive expression. Which, I suppose, is why I didn't immediately register that something had gone awry. No, we are not yet at our destination. Huh? When I finally came to, and after I had some time to digest that odd reply, I looked up at her face once again and realized that her expression was more antsy than usual by a microscopically minuscule degree. So, this train is still running? Yes. Then, where are we? I believe we are currently stranded in an unidentified dimension. Coordinates unknown. So this is exactly what happened in Library of Ruina with Olga and them. It went completely into an unidentified dimension, and Olga and her team took a risk to jump over to the library. And then the certain town that we all know and we all will not speak of, was born. I took a reflective deep breath from the sheer horror of the numerous implications stuffed into that dryly delivered sentence. When that passed, the first thing that struck my mind was that we were about to suffer the very thing that we were so worried about. I see. But I soon found myself calming down. Yeah, this had to be part of Faust's plan. She probably saw this coming from a mile away. I'm sure she's about to proudly tell me every little detail of her plan that will help us out of this situation. I have a feeling that she doesn't have a plan. But this is all just part of your plan, right, Faust? I smell uncertainty! That was an unusually long silence from Faust. You are half correct, yet half incorrect. Hi. So she has a plan to a degree, maybe? Or half expected this? I don't know. That's not good. With that, Faust left me to flounder in the chaotic stream of vaguely terrifying information as she began stomping by each capsule to wake the sinners. Oh, we're here already? Man, it really happened in the blink of an... No. Oh, what's this? We're here already? For real? It really happened in the blink of an... No. Just no. Whoa, we're here already? I guess I really was worrying over nothing. No. God damn it. Are we gonna see everyone's? Oh, no. I can't see. She's shutting it down immediately. Yet I have not uttered a single word. Sorry, Yi saying you had to get the disrespect of not even being able to say a word because Faust is already over it. There was a brief cheer, a little hurrah about regaining our colors, followed by a flat-toned explanation of our current predicament, which was then followed by a long, loaded silence, which was a sequence of events I had the pleasure of watching play out on about 10 consecutive occasions. Dante, I understand your confusion. However, perhaps an elaboration of our present circumstance is necessary. And that brings us to the present. Let me get this right. This train's still running, and we're drifting through some unknown dimension? Ooh, aught about that striketh me as quite dramatic. Most importantly, are you saying that you already knew that this would happen, Faust? Yes. Oh shit, people are gonna be pissed. Well, I can see two people already pissed. Right there. They are ready to punch her. And Ishmael's annoyed. What the hell is wrong with you, huh? The sinners each began to voice their anger. Yep. Of course, this wasn't the first time Faust and Virgilius intentionally and knowingly omitted certain details about the events in our path. What, are you insane? It's not like we can just retreat or jump out that door when stuff hits the fan. Opening the door will result in nearly immediate destruction of the physical body. But hey, Fow, at least you know what to do like you always do. You've got a plan, right? Yeah, she don't have a plan. Right? Faust, whom I had rarely ever seen at a loss for words, was unusually slow to respond. What's up with her? Lass looks totally out of it today. She gives me a sideways glance. There must be something she can't discuss in front of the sinners. Guys, let's pause for a bit. She said that something inconceivable's happened. The other sinner's anger was completely understandable. It also makes sense that this continued lack of communication was harming our trust in Faust. All right, we're going to go over the situation from the start, okay? But just letting things play out might really turn everyone against Faust, and for good. Besides, I don't want everyone turning against Faust. Yeah, she may be a little, transparent about everything, but that kinda is her job. She can't explain too much. It might go against LCB's policies, contracts and shit. Kinda like Virgilius. Virgilius lost probably a shit ton of stuff by helping us during Heathcliff's story. So, I don't blame her, but she could, I guess, let us know that this was going to happen. I doubt Faust woke us up in the middle of the trip just to spite us. First things first, I gotta get the sinners to calm down. Then I'll ask Faust to tell us what happened. If there's a problem, we'll figure it out and deal with it as we move along. Tell us what's going on, Faust. All of it, and in a way that we can all understand. Let's hear her out first. Is that okay with you guys? If you say so, I'll go along with it. Fine, I suppose losing my rag rarely ever did anything. Thank you. Then? After some time, the gist of Faust's explanation was as follows. The cause of this issue, as always, involved a certain contract and a unilateral decision from the higher-ups of Limbus Company. W Corp caught wind of Limbus Company's recent distortion contract management promotions. Oh, okay. So that makes a little bit more sense, because you gotta think about it this way, right? Because they're contracted with W Corp, so W Corp would cover the fee, right? For their ticket? At least I would think so, right? Because if a company is doing a contract for you, you would pay for them to get to the location. We are getting paid to solve this issue, but also we're getting a free expense trip, I think, to our next area. At least that's what makes sense to me, unless W Corp is like, hey, we need you to do a job and you need to buy tickets. So the tickets didn't cost Limbus Company a damn penny, or I guess an an, because the contract. Okay, so it suddenly makes a lot of sense. And decided to contract us to deal with a mysterious repeated series of incidents suspected to have been caused by a distortion, after multiple failed attempts to resolve it on their own, of course. The distortions themselves likely did not pose a problem for W Corp. Based on the available information, it can be determined that they would have all been neutralized as soon as the train arrived, and any transformed passengers would have been reverted to their human forms. But the real issue was that the passengers were disappearing. Passengers, spirited away! Alas, such is an impossibility aboard these trains, is it not? That is the question in which we must discover the precise cause and effect of. Did W Corp share anything to get us started? That appears to be the most prominent cause of this misunderstanding. She explained that W Corp refused to share any information about the trains because they were concerned about maintaining the secrets of their singularity. As per usual, we understand this. Any corporation or wing will not share the secrets of their singularities because that is literally what runs their whole wing. Maybe that's exactly why they sought out an upstart business like Limbus Company to deal with this, now that I think about it. We wouldn't even know where to start if we didn't have access to the information that the identities cards had to offer. Boss produced what appeared to be a keycard with W Corp logo on it before continuing with her explanations. However, we were given this master keycard that can open and close the hibernation capsules at will. We may return to our respective capsules as soon as the contract is fulfilled and safely complete the rest of our journey as we had planned from the beginning. These bloody wings. Every single one of them's been absolutely barmy. I think it's a bit unkind of them to ask us to finish the puzzle without all the important pieces. At least at T-Corp, their chief executive director tagged along as their assistant, not to mention kindly explaining so many new things to us. It sounds like Miss Faust was stuck between a rock and a hard place herself. Some sinners grew more receptive after hearing her explanations, albeit with a sigh. I would have appreciated it if you at least gave us a hint. Yeah, I understand where you're coming from, but it's not like there's someone out there monitoring your every move and every word, right? Maybe. I see Faust as like a very important character when it comes to Limbus Company because, like, just the way that she talks and just the way she acts, on top of that, she is the one who gives us all the information that what Dante needs to do. She might have a wire on her. That is... I think she has a fucking wire on her. And like, we ain't no mafia, so it's not like we find out we kill her. But I think they have a wire on Faust. Like, they literally listen and watch her every move and word. Oh, goddamn. But not everyone was willing to let this go without saying their piece. Next time, I will take your inputs into account. And that's everything I can do for her. It's an undeniable truth that Faust has disappointed the sinners with what she's done. But she is Faust, after all. I'm sure she has backup plans to get us out of this situation. So what's next on our agenda? Yeah, what's done is done, right? Besides, it's not like we gotta rot away for thousands of years inside this metal box. Yeah, because you don't age, you don't get hungry. It's all good. That is something I must first discuss with Dante. Discuss? But discussing things with other people is very unlike Faust. What are we discussing, Faust? You must converse in a lower volume, Dante. What? Why are we whispering? Her secretive attitude only exacerbated my already battered sense of safety. My connection to Giselle Shaft, Faust, has been severed. What? Wait a... But Faust is Faust. What the fuck do you mean, Faust? I'm sorry, what? I cannot access Faust's knowledge at the moment. That doesn't sound good. I guess I really was right to be anxious. What the fuck does that mean? What do you mean you can't? I mean it in the most literal sense. My access to Faust's input and information, which has always been readily available, is completely severed. Oh, what if everything about this situation is something you don't have access to yet, like you said last time? One cannot completely dismiss that possibility, but even that is uncertain. Every answer Faust has given me was always full of confidence and methodical expertise. I don't think she ever said a sentence that was this full of speculation and doubt. Then, Faust, you are... Yes, at this moment I am limited to operating only with my knowledge. That's not good. I cannot discern the cause of this disconnection. More than enough precautions have likely been taken in case of interdimensional travel. But perhaps Faust did not take into account an occasion in which we may have to access an unidentified dimension such as this. Or, even if it was taken into account, this particular dimension may not yet have been subject to cross-observation. If that is not the case, then no, never mind. There was nothing that suggested that my connection to Faust would be lost, not even as we boarded the train. To be honest, this is a rather disagreeable situation for me. Alright, for now. Now that changes everything. I recalled the last thing I saw before the hatch on the capsule closed, when Faust told me not to worry too much. Okay, this is just a minor setback, nothing we can't beat, right? We got this. I began to mutter like I was trying to convince myself. As the manager, my job is to calm everyone down and set their sights on the future, just as Faust did for me immediately before the hatch closed. If you're right about why you were disconnected, then that problem will solve itself once we're off the train. And if we do ever run out of options, I'll turn the clock and see what happens. Don't stress yourself too much. We still have a lot to work with. Your knowledge, my, clock, the sinners, and... I can feel my confidence taking a hit with every word that came out of my metaphorical mouth, but that seemed to be enough for Faust. She nodded. Understood. And, to the sinners, the fact that we are currently confined to a warp train in operation must be the source of enough stress. I believe that sharing Faust's current state with them would add an unnecessary source of tension. What? So wrecking this door ain't gonna do anything? We're all gonna bite it once it opens! Ugh. How many times do I have to tell you that we're not even strong enough to break this door down? A billion years in this box. Yeah, good idea. So, what now? Do we have to take a search and sweep around each car, or something? In the grand scheme of things, yes. Faust cleared the air with a cough before continuing. By A-Corp's standard timescale, approximately 3 days have passed since our departure. As per the contract between Limbus Company and W Corp, I acquired the master key placed inside my capsule and adjusted the hatch settings to open automatically in 3 days. 3 days, huh? I feel like I just blinked and I guess that's hibernation for you. As you were all informed prior to boarding, there is no way for the economy class passengers to enter the first class car. That is why this place has remained untouched. However, Cross-referencing my own deductions and W Corp's rather fragmentary explanations, I can assume that the situation is currently under progress in the economy class cars. The part where they thrash the shite out of one another, tearing their limbs off, all that mess? No, I doubt that. I don't think it gets that bad in just 3 days. Besides, that's supposed to be business as usual for W Corp, right? There must be something else that's out of the ordinary that they want us to deal with. Precisely. In my opinion, it is... Hold that thought for but a moment! Just as Faust was about to continue, Don Quixote raised her index finger to her lips and signaled her to be quiet. Dost thou hear aught as I do? Scratching, nay, rapping, forsooth, past the gate must be. As Don Quixote kept listening with her ear to the door, an odd expression of half curiosity and half horror appeared on her face. Uh-oh. Is it possible that there must be... Lady Faust? After that very distressful noise, everyone simultaneously turned their heads to look at Faust, who closed her eyes briefly in thought. Please step aside for a moment, Don Quixote. It would be best if I observed it with my own eyes. With that, she produced the master keycard from her pocket and approached the panel installed next to the door. Whoa, hang on a minute. You're going to open the door? I intend to follow your usual flavor of suggestion, Heathcliff. That there are times in which a physical altercation is preferable to detached ruminations. Huh? My suggestion? Well, I ain't gonna disagree with you there, but what's gotten into you, lass? After all, how can I deduce anything without seeing it myself? Uh-oh. After a brief mechanical beep, hideous creatures suddenly crashed through the open door and charged wildly in our direction. You guys look interesting. Hi, it's time to go over statistics. Starting off with Craving Blood Bag Passenger. Maximum HP is 148. Stagger thresholds are at 88 and 29. Moving over to the resistances. Resistances are normal for slash, normal for stab, and weak for crush. Sin affinities are normal for wrath, endured for lust, normal for sloth, normal for gluttony, normal for gloom, normal for pride, and weak for envy. Now, moving over to the skills, we have Coagulated Arm. On a hit, inflict +2 bleed count. Hard Blood Jag. On hit, inflict +1 bleed count. On hit, inflict +2 bleed count. Collecting Blood. If target has 10 plus bleed, deal +20% more damage. On hit, inflict 4 bleed times 2. On hit, absorb up to 10 bleed potency from the target and heal bleed potency absorbed times 2 percentage HP. This effect does not lower the target's bleed potency under 1. Counter. On use, base power +1 for every 3 bleed count on self. Max of 2. On hit, inflict 2 bleed. Now, moving over to the passives, we have Blood Coagulation. Gain +1 bleed count every time this unit is hit. Turn end. Consume 3 bleed count on self and gain 1 coagulated blood. Thirst for Blood. Prioritizes targets with bleed. Turn end. If this unit fails to deal any damage this turn, gain 2 fragile and 2 offense level up next turn. Blood Sucking. Take 10% less damage from bleed rounded down. On hit, if the target has bleed, heal 10% of damage dealt. With that, everyone, that concludes all the information on our enemies. Let's kill them. Let's end their lives!
금방 다녀올게.
I will say, I do want to extremely apologize for the lateness of last video. I am just now getting back to this story.
명령대로 하겠습니다. 순조로운 전략입니다.
좋은 전략이네요. 가보죠.
Alright. Nice. Well, since these guys seem like they have a hard time against Crush, I will probably throw Heathcliff in here next time. I gotta hold down the mouse.
모든 결과들은 파우스트가
Okay, got my sweatshirt. Alright. Alright, and then we just, yeah.
명령대로 하겠습니다.
Ooh. Yeah, it's over. Oh, nope.
아름답지
Now it is.
않네.
늘 새롭다니까요.
Alright, pretty simple battle. Nothing too crazy. Lady Faust, however similar in appearance they may have been to the passengers, verily, 'tis as though they were in complete want of sense. Like people politified by the whale. Don Quixote hesitated until the last second to raise her weapon against them. She hung her head mournfully. Normally, Faust would have told her more information about those monsters before the fight began, and she would have not been burdened by the sheer thought of bringing harm to the innocent. But they are passengers. They're innocent, they've just gone insane. Faust began searching the area, closely observing various bodies and the general area for information. You appear particularly inquisitive today, Miss Faust. Huh, yeah. Aren't you usually the one who has all the answers while we're racking our brains trying to come up with something? The sinners were starting to feel that there's something off about Faust's behavior. They might even soon realize that there's something wrong with Faust. Don Quixote, they are not dead. Huh? Observe closer. The parts are all tethered to one another by something, are they not? Oh-ho! It appears that the flow of time has ceased in this space. Therefore, it follows the connections that tether bodies to life and away from death remain intact. To my relief, Faust managed to correctly figure out what's going on like her usual self, even if it took her slightly longer than it usually does. Hey, what'd I say? We got this! Huh? What was that about? Oh, nothing. But I'd forgotten that not all sinners were content with nodding along with whatever information Faust told us. The flow of time is ceased aboard a warp train, is it? Uh-oh. Yi Sang grew pensive, seeing that Faust's lips parted for a moment before closing shut. I was starting to get a good read of her expressions. That was an unmistakable look of regret, however short-lived. Howbeit, would it not be more accurate to muse that the flow of time has decelerated to the point where, to an extra-dimensional observer, it has slowed to a stop? What is your perspective regarding this suggestion? Yes. Yes. Yes, that is the most rational Yes, that is the most rational suggestion, Yi Sang. Did Miss Faust just get something wrong? Well, wow, Yi Sang sure is a time expert, right? Can you summarize it in easier language now that we're talking about it anyway? Gladly. If you would allow me. It's just that look on his face. Yi Sang began to elaborate with gentle enthusiasm. That was close. To speak in brevity, it would be said that death is not an element aboard this train. And Can you maybe speak in a little less brevity? To elaborate. Verily, this one's heart beats still. Don Quixote lowers her head and listens closely to what appeared to be a dismembered torso, and shouts with relief. Their state is akin to an unassembled jigsaw puzzle, merely immobilized and separated. Though their corpus has been sundered, the concept of death is at a state of, for all intents and purposes, eternal delay aboard this train, existence in continuance of moratorium. Forced they are, to be tethered upon the tiniest yet tenacious thread of life. I ill understand what hath been said here, yet they are not dead all the same, If there are several parts that are connected, then it can be said that no matter how entangled their bodies become, it is not possible to eventually gather their parts together and form a single passenger. Thus, naturally, we can determine how and why the profession W Corp cleanup agent has come to be. I see. Because someone will have to categorize and reconstruct those puzzles once the journey is over. It's really baffling to me that a job like that even exists. Ever seen a wing that wasn't baffling in every sense of that word? Still, I guess that means that as long as the train arrives at the station, they'll all be put back together like nothing happened. From what I learned through the W Corp identities, their main job was to gather chunks of flesh together to bring them back to their original shapes before they boarded the train. It's a lot more visceral when I have to look at it in person. That is quite the auspicious news among ill tidings indeed. It soon clicked in me what Faust was, though with some awkward effort, trying to do as I watched Don Quixote sigh with relief. Maybe Faust was trying to cheer Don Quixote up in her own way. The other Faust would not find it even necessary to do something like that. Dante? Huh? What's up? Uh-oh. Oh, time to whisper, right? Indeed, I intend to collect further intelligence. Well, if there's anything I can tell you. Foss cast a dark gaze toward the chunks of flesh. Her gaze remained fixed upon them as she whispered. Are they distortions or abnormalities? Ooh. Oh, yeah. I actually wanted to ask you about that. They weren't human, that's for sure. From them, I felt the same sensation I felt from monsters. Something inexplicable, an unclear sensation, or an aura. I've felt this somewhere before, I'm sure of it, but I can't quite pinpoint the source of this sensation. One thing I do know for sure is that this sensation was not the same feeling I got from abnormalities, distortions, or even the Pecatula. If I had to lean one way or the other, I'd say they're closer to distortions. I'm sorry, I don't think they're either of those. Is it difficult to be certain at the moment? Again, I'm not sure how I can explain this, but they're very, very similar to distortions, but also different. If you had to ask, then I'm gonna guess Faust doesn't know? Faust may know, but I, at this moment, have no way of knowing. I feel like I should apologize for that. There's no need, Dante. Though the information you have provided me is rather ambiguous, it has also helped me deduce something of worth. And collecting intelligence myself and creating deductions based on sparse information is quite... She paused, holding a bloody, slimy chunk of flesh in her hands. Ew. Did she just smile to herself with gore in her hands? I would be concerned too. I was just thinking that. Like, my fucking brain imagined Faust smiling with that chunk of flesh with blood streaks of a smile on her face. I don't know why my imagination did that, but it was not good. Oh, the awakening has begun. Oh my god! She's like, yes, go insane. Be the crazy bitch. God damn it, Roshu, the awakening has begun. Fuck, man.
조금 우세.
After a round of intelligence gathering from Faust, we opened the door to the next cabin, only to be greeted by a loud commotion. It sounds like there are other survivors. Ah, passengers in danger! Worry not! I have arrived to... Oh. Whoa, whoa! Don't come any closer. Who the hell are you guys? A four-armed woman suddenly jumped in our path. She appeared without warning. Faust stumbled a little, inadvertently slapped by the figure's swinging arms as she pushed us away. Hey, what the fuck? Right, like you gave me any warning before you practically kicked that door open. Would you mind moving that huge sword out of our faces? It's a bit threatening. Threatening? I'm just trying to protect those civilians in this car. I do like her look, though. Also, is that a bioprosthetic? Must be an old-timer, huh? I thought those things went out of style forever ago. Yeah, his unfortunately doesn't go away. Oh, you want to see what this old-timer's got left in him? She fucking pissing him off. Aha! Thou art from the North Valley? Thy garb is that of northerners, no? This really ain't the time, lass! Anyways, it looks like we're in the same mess here. Make way for us, yeah? She seems like a badass. I like her. She seemed to be sizing us up for a moment. Yeah, you don't want to do that. Nah, how do I trust you? Got any proof that you ain't bitten? Wait, is this a zombie apocalypse? I don't... What? I'm not gonna let all my effort protecting this place go to waste. Bitten? The bloody hell are you talking about? Weird. You look completely lost. If you were in one of the economy cars, I'm sure you've seen... Hold on. Are y'all from the first class car? Yeah, we just woke up from our capsules. But none of you look very... I mean, our first class seat's supposed to be... Well, why didn't you say so from the get-go? Wow, you're judging us? You're judging us? How dare you? How dare thee? Name's Sasha, multi-crack office rep. Oh, Sasha? This is Sasha? You know, that's actually the name I was going to name my dog, but then I went against that because there's so many other dogs named Sasha. So I said, you know what? Not gonna do that, but I like the name. We all know Potato Girl, if you've seen Attack on Titan. And if you haven't, it's good. It's good. With that, she lowered her weapons and allowed us to pass. Have you not left this car for the duration of the ride, Sasha? No, I haven't. We warped over to T-Corp after picking up one of their contracts. But, geez, can you believe that this train broke down? Shit, is it even broken? You know what's fucked up about this now that I think about it? So, W Corp knew this was going to happen, yet they still put passengers on there. That's kind of fucked up, right? I'm not feeling hungry or sleepy at all. It stinks of some shady bullshit, if you ask me. You can feel all that even in a prosthetic body? Man, how could I live without my favorite hobby, drifting into a sweet nap after a pleasant meal? So I made sure to get high quality parts for them so I can feel hungry and sleepy. Hey, you know, if you love to eat and sleep, why the fuck not, right? It's cool that they make that. Huh. Cool. Hasn't something else of note also occurred? You bet your ass did something else of note go down. How distracting. Is it hard for you to speak without being so hyper? Or at least stop swinging your arms around like that. Can't do that, friend. I broke all my prosthetic arms in a fight, so I'm calibrating a new set. Gotta keep swinging them if I want them to sync up with the other parts anytime soon. Anywho, I don't know what the hell's going on, but people started turning into some weird monsters all of a sudden. Haven't a goddamn clue who they are. Doesn't seem like they can understand us either. Good thing my train car didn't have a lot of those monsters. I just chopped what monsters there were to pieces and hauled the civilians to this vacant car. Shut up, bitch! 3201 red colors. 3202 red colors. You have decided to protect them despite the potential risk that they may transform as well. But of course, 'tis expected duty of any valorous fixer to stand guard in the front lines against evil to protect the weak. I've been keeping a close eye on them for the last 3 days, and so far, 0 transformations. Go past this car and you'll see what hell on earth really means. Those monsters are consistently trying to claw their way to the front of the train. So, if you ask me, I'd wager some shit went down there at one of the train cars in the back. And it spread like wildfire till it reached here. I see. And that's all I can tell you about the situation. So, what's your story? Why'd you rich, first-class folks suddenly decide to grace us peasants with your presence? Well, we're not rich. Nothing that's happened here could have made it to your swanky first-class car, so what's your business down here? W Corp has hired us to solve this case. We are, fixers! Oh my god. Are we fixers? I'm not 100% sure. Indeed, fixers. Yeah, I don't think we are. Voss nodded reluctantly as she affirmed Don Quixote's boisterous declaration. Huh, they got every single one of you a first-class ticket? Your office must be rolling in the dough. I wouldn't say that. Well, maybe. Wait, does that mean... Oh god, does that mean that they did have to pay for their tickets? You would think that that Warp or W Corp would just be like, hey, here's tickets, you know, solve our problem. Wait a goddamn second, so W Corp already knew this was going to happen? But, are you really contracted to a wing? Not sure if I trust ya. As you must be well aware yourself, contracts and contract fulfillments are a paramount importance for fixers. With that in mind, please recall that W Corp is one of the most secretive wings of the city. Ah, a non-disclosure agreement, huh? Makes sense. I wouldn't want to deal with those oofy boys either. Anyways, I'm still gonna have to ask for proof that you're actually contracted by W Corp. This is the master keycard given to us by W Corp. I believe that it will open most doors aboard this train. Voss produced a master keycard from her pocket. I guess there isn't any other way for us to prove that we're actually contracted by W Corp. A keycard? So you use this to open up the path between the first class and the economy class car? Let's see. W Corp logo. Whoa, nice materials. Looks like you're telling the truth. Alright, I won't pry. Not that there's any cash in it for me either. So, I guess you gotta go all the way down there for your job, huh? Yes. The fixer finally got out of our way, then, with one of her free hands pointed toward the opposite door. Well, it's your funeral, ladies and gents, or your victory lap if you guys are really that good. Lots of luck to y'all. I thank thee for thy words of courage, Fixer Sasha. I shall trust thee with protection of this fortress. Prithee, protect the innocents in my stead. Okay. She's just like, what? Okay, curious child. Big sis, are you a fixer? Are you going to save us from the monsters in the cars behind us? Uh-huh. God damn it. Just as we were about to reach the other end of the car, a little passenger pulled on Don Quixote's coattails. Aye, forsooth. Okay, I feel like this may be bad because usually characters that have, like, you can see their eyes, they have some importance to what's going on. If not, then they have the shade that goes over their face. Whoa, are you a famous fixer? No. Forsooth, once again, thou mayest know me as a profoundly illustrious fixer. Whoa, I want to be a fixer too, just like you. Don't pester the lady. I'm sorry, she's my daughter, and... Worry not thyself, 'tis no bother at all. Thou must dream of becoming a fixer thyself, little squire. God damn it. I don't know why I do this. It is fortunate that someone like yourself is aboard the train. Your presence ensured that child's survival. Huh? Oh, her. What you talking about all of a sudden? Come on! No need to keep up appearances between people in the same line of work. I'm just here to collect some sweet emergency contract fees from each and every one of them. Are you two on something or what? I see. Ah. Well, I guess you gotta do what you gotta do, right? She literally told them, like, hey, I will protect you, but you have to pay me. That's a little fucked up, but this is the city, so I understand. Gotta make some dough, right? I don't think Don Quixote needs to hear what she just said. Didn't know you could be like that, Faust. Be like, what? You knew there was no way the fixer was actually there to protect them out of pure goodwill, but you decided to go along with Don Quixote's delusions anyway. Am I right? No, I think this is actually, like, Faust. This is her, and her before is her being linked up to other Faust. I like this Faust. I do. Good move. I was getting worried about what might happen if she started acting out again. You saw the twinkle in her eyes too, right? Don Quixote's always been energetic, and she's been especially bouncy today. Eyes. Faust rode toward Sasha with a question. I have one last thing to inquire. There'll be 30,000 Ann per inquiry. That is quite an unsound decision to make for someone who claims to be in the same line of work as us. Have you considered the possibility that, once our contract is successfully completed, we could include references to a particularly cooperative associate office in our report to W Corp? Whoa! Are you serious? Well then, let me hear it. Were the eyes of the monsters you faced red, by any chance? Sasha paused her swinging arms for a moment upon hearing that question, appearing to either be in thought or trying to recall something, then answered. I don't know. Those monsters were red all over, but is there something special about their eye color? Well, for one, my prosthetic eye is red. The passenger over there's got red eyes too, and... oh, you there. That lady with the big swords also got red eyes. What? Is someone out there paying cash for info on red eyes or something? No, well... It was a question of no significance. Voss nodded lightly in her direction, then opened the door to the next car. There's something with red eyes. Ugh. It was just as we had feared. The scene that appeared before us looked like it came straight out of a painting of hell. Eee! Yikes! Shit's hitting the fan. Alright, you guys are pretty much yeah, you guys are the same. This is another wave 1 thing. You guys are so dead. You're so dead.
안 되면 어쩔 수 없지만요.
Oh wow, we actually lost. We lost a few of them. Damn. Yeah, we'll do it like that. And boom, baby! Lots of damage.
야! 타!
Ooh.
대로 하겠습니다.
Yeah, no, they do have red eyes. So they're like the bunnies. The rabbits.
난파시켰습니다.
Rabbit henchmen. The red eyes. I'll take on any red-eyed motherfucker except for Julius. Fuck that. Fuck that.
어떠냐?
Because we all know how that would end. He would kill everyone. What the? Excuse. Oh, we have to kill 11 of you.
쓰리 뭔지 보여주지. 핫! 순조로운 전략이.
Nice, Otis. She got it in there. Now she's whooping his ass. Kill him. Kill him dead. Oh, here we go. Out of the park.
아름답진 않네.
And let's get some sanity.
명령대로 하겠습니다.
Alright. You bastards. Prepare to die. I will say, I am enjoying this side of Faust. It's interesting, because she is definitely not herself versus, like, you know, all the other missions. But it's just interesting to see her act differently. Maybe I'm crazy, I don't know. I like this Faust.
해보기는 할게요. 안 되면 어쩔 수
This is
없지만요.
our Faust. Get in there, Otis! Ah, almost.
기다려.
He almost got it.
재밌는 순간이에요. 야!
Ah!
늘
Dead!
새롭다니까요.
Oh, you about to get screwed. Nice. Another good hit.
파우스트가
Boom! A counter? Will do.
놈을
Just keep
대신하라.
having Faust do her thing. Oh, that's not good for you. Oh, that's a good hit. Oh, almost staggered. It was right there.
아름답진 않네.
Nice. Oh, Otis doing a double. She doubled up on the skill. Love it.
모든
Faust,
결과들은
will you kill anyone with this? You killed both of them. Hell yeah.
예술이 뭔지 보여주지.
Oh yeah.
가라앉는
He gone. Oh, that was it. I didn't even know there was one left. I wasn't even paying attention. Holy shit. Whew. Battling in a narrow hallway really takes a lot out of you. Too bad, making big movements when there's not a lot of room to move around in takes more energy than you might think, especially for people like us, who use longer weapons. That's true. That's true. That would honestly be ass, because you're kind of stuck with more jabs and like small swipes, like side swipes and shit. You ain't gonna be doing the crazy move that Hong Lu does where he jumps in the air and twirls. You just don't got the space for that. These enemies weren't much harder than the ones we'd fought earlier, but it was inevitable that their sheer number would eventually wear down the sinners. Who? What are these things? Faust? Ah, God damn it. They're always like, this makes you realize how much they rely on Faust. Yeah, I've been wondering that too. Why are you so tight-lipped all of a sudden? Those entities are... What do you think those entities are? Huh? Didn't I just ask you the same question? Oh no. Are you giving us a chance to come up with our own answers first? No, dude. I thought he figured it out, but fucking... God damn it. I love it. I love it. Of course, Faust did not confirm nor deny his question, but Sinclair was perfectly capable of interpreting her silence in his own fashion. There were some things I learned after fighting them, I think. These monsters aren't mad at us, nor do they want to attack us because we're an obstacle. That's not why they're attacking us. Quite! 'Tis apparent that they hunger for aught charging at anyone or anything in desperate... Charging at anyone or anything in a desperate quest of it! Right. That's strange, though. I thought hunger and thirst weren't a thing aboard these trains. It could be determined from the entity's attack patterns that their offenses were not based on rational thought. The source of this behavior can only be traced back to primal aggressiveness. Yes, and? Was there anything else? Anything else? Oh yeah! I think they all had red eyes. Their bodies wreathed in blankets of red. I smelled blood, so that's likely what they're made of. Then it must be that the red was congealed, nay, crystallized blood. Thank you all. Your input has been very helpful. It was my turn to start whispering. What did you learn from all that? We are in luck, Dante. I have read upon this subject as a tangent while perusing information regarding our next destination, moments before we boarded the train. And while that will be a useful element in resolving this situation, the sinners have also been a very good source of intelligence when it comes to categorizing and identifying important evidence from the available sea of information. Your advice was correct, Dante. You mean, you know what to do to blow this case wide open? Nothing can be said with absolute certainty at the moment. However, this will be a good place for us to start. With that, Faust turned around and faced the rest of the sinners. I will now present before you a solution to this predicament. Huh? Is there something else we gotta do other than beat the crap out of whatever's in our way? That will not change. No. However, what I'm about to share will give you a better understanding of the purpose behind W Corp's contract and provide us with the possible means of finding the method by which we can complete it. It is very likely that the entity behind the incidents on this train, and by extension every incident of the same nature that has occurred in previous warp train trips, is a blood fiend. Oh! Shit. with that, everyone, that is where I am going to draw it for now. Next video, though, we will either A, complete it, or we will get up to the dungeon. So, with that, everyone, let's go ahead and jump over to the 10 times extraction, and then I will conclude this video. And fortunately for us, Ishmael is still here. God damn, we love the Kurokumo clan captain. She was so good in Library of Ruina, and she has returned finally, but Ishmael is in control. Let's get it. Let's fucking get it. And show me the gold! No gold. It can still happen. It can still happen. Can it? No, it's not. Alright. That makes sense. But I'm going for round 2, because I got tickets. Oh, shit. I almost clicked a little too much. Oh, it's EGO!
균형을 잃은 게 아니야.
Heathcliff?
더 세게 후려치려고 기웃뚱거린 거지.
Ooh. Wait! Motherfucker turned into the Time Ripper or some shit. Wait, I think I've seen that one in the... what is it? Refraction Railway Line 4, right? Asymmetrical Inertia. Heathcliff. Ooh. It's pretty. Well, now I don't think I'll get anything else. Damn it! But I want Ishmael! Well, we'll save it for next video. So, not a big deal. What's this? Just more of that. Alright. And with that, everyone, that is going to conclude this video. So I really hope you all did enjoy it. If you did, go let me know by hitting that like button. And if you're new to the channel and you want to become part of the pack, go and hit that sub button, notification bell to know when a new video goes up. Also, don't forget to leave me a comment down below because all comments are well appreciated. And with that, everyone, I'm DemoonicWolf, and I'll see you all in the next video that I make. Because I am